Good morning, students. Today I'm going to revise chapter 1 number system, which we have already done. But the concept of rational number and irrational number is there, which some students are facing the doubt. So I'm going to recapitulate the same, right? There are two type of numbers which we were giving the confusion to the students. One was rational numbers and the other one is irrational numbers. Now I'm going to discuss these two again. Rational number is the number which can be written in the form of P upon Q, where Q is not equal to 0. And we say the standard form of the rational number when they don't have any common factor other than 1. Any number which is not rational is known as irrational number, right? This is the definition which we gave maximum number of times. The easiest way to recognize rational number is any prime number under the root. Prime numbers which are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13 and so on. Any prime number under the root which is under root 2, under root 3, under root 5, under root 7 and so on. These are irrational numbers. Why we say under root 9 it is not a rational number? Because under root 9 when you solve, if we go only for positive value, it will give you number 3, which is a rational number as it can be written in the form of 3 upon 1. Fine. Hence we can say the number which can be written in the form of P upon Q, where Q is not equal to 0, and the standard form of rational number when they don't have any common factor other than 1. And irrational number is the number which cannot be represented in the form of P upon Q, number 1. And number 2, we can say any prime number under the root is known as irrational number. So how to find out when it is not given in the form of P upon Q, how to find out which number is a rational and which number is irrational? For that I am telling you the number which is given in the form of P upon Q, or you can make it in the form of P upon Q. For example, let's talk about 0.51. We know very well it can be written as 51 upon 100, as after decimal there are 2 digits, so it's a rational number. Fine. If I say 0.51 bar, will it be a rational or irrational? Again it is a rational number. Reason being, it can be written as 0.5151. I know although it is still infinite number of times, but still it's a rational number. We have done these type of questions in the chapter, that these type of questions can be represented in the form of P upon Q when you have assumed this as equal to x, 0.51 bar. Since under the bar there are 2 digits, you will multiply this with 100 to both sides. It will become 51.51 bar again. When you will subtract these two, it will become 9905, and this is 0.51 bar, which in turn will give you 51. So 99x is equal to 51. X will be 51 upon 99, right? That means the number when it is given under the bar, it was said x is equal to 0.51 bar, and it seems, since it is endlessly being written, it seems maybe it is a irrational number. It is not irrational number, it's a rational number, and we have proved it how it can be represented in the form of P upon Q. Now the major difference between the decimal representation of rational and irrational number, I am going to clarify here. If you see here, it is 0.5151, and again you will write 515151 and so on, right? That means 51 is repeated endlessly, but the same digits are being repeated. It's 51 which is being repeated here. In case you are given the number as 0.51, then it is 051, then 0051, then 00051 and so on. Then in that case you can easily check 51, 051, 0051. You cannot write this number as a bar now, As in the previous question, you have written it as 0.51 bar. 51 bar means it was repeated indefinite number of times. It was repeated, we can say, infinite number of times, but here it is repeated. 51 is being repeated, but 0 is here, 10, then 00, then 000, then so on. That means if you want to put the bar for the any digit, you cannot write down. Bar means you have to fix which digits are being repeated again and again, and that has to be same throughout the expansion, which is not here. It was here, but which is not here. So this is decimal expansion of irrational number. Now the difference between the two will become more clear to you when I say this is a rational number. I know although it's being written infinite number of times, 51, that means division, when you divide 51 by 99, you will keep on getting this number, but it will not come to an end. When it is not coming to an end, that means we say it is a non-terminating decimal expansion. You understand? It's a non-terminating decimal expansion. It's a terminating decimal expansion which comes to an end. As we say 3 upon 1 or 2 upon 1 or 0.2, or same here I have written 0.51, which is 51 upon 100, because when you divide 51 by 100, it comes to an end. It will be written as 0.51, right? But 0.51 bar, it's not coming to an end. That's why it's repeatedly again infinite number of times, 0.51, and so on. Hence we say it's a non-terminating decimal expansion. It's a terminating decimal expansion, but it's a non-terminating decimal expansion. But at the same time, you see these two digits, 51, there is no other digit appearing in between these two. It's repeating 51. That means it's 51 bar. So at the same time, it's repeating, or we can use the word recurring. Hence we say this rational number is a non-terminating but repeating. Hence the definition that we obtain for rational number has a decimal expansion which is either terminating or non-terminating but repeating. Fine. Now if you come for irrational number, the decimal expansion of irrational number, although it's also not coming to an end, it's dash. That means it will be written infinitely. So it is non-terminating, but at the same time it's not repeated. Why not repeated? Then few can say that 51 is being repeated. 51 is repeated, but 0 you may say 10, then 00, then 000. So you cannot put the bar. Suppose if you wish to put the bar 0.510, what does it mean? It means you will write it as 510, 510, 510, and so on. But it says 510, 5100, 5100. Same, you can't put the bar for 00, you can't put the bar for 000. So that means although it's a non-terminating, but it's a non-repeating. Hence the decimal expansion of irrational number is non-terminating and non-repeating. So that's the main difference between rational and irrational number when you come to check by the decimal representation. Either it is a number rational which is given is a terminating, non-terminating, terminating but repeating, or non-terminating but repeating, non-terminating but not repeating. Is that fine? So this is the decimal form of rational and irrational number, and on the basis of this we normally do the questions, right? Now another thing, you know very well in your junior classes 8th also you have done, if there are two numbers given to you, suppose 3 and 5, you're supposed to write down rational numbers between these two numbers. When you have to write the rational numbers between any two real numbers or between any two rational numbers, you know there are infinite many rational numbers. For example, if I say I have to write 10 here, 10 rational numbers between these, I said I have to write 10 rational numbers between 3 and 5. So what I suggest to the students always, since we have to write 10 rational numbers, I have to choose the number more than 10. It can be 11, it can be 12, it can be 20, 100, 1000, 500, 700, anyone, right? Suppose I'm going to select this time as 61. A very odd number I have selected, but I'm telling you, since I have to write 10 rational numbers, for example, I write 61, I may write 51, I may write 19, I may write 20, fine. So, okay, let's take 20. Then, since you are having number 3 and number 5, first of all, we know we can represent it as 3 by 1 and 5 by 1. Clear? Now, since I have selected the number 20, by this number I will multiply the numerator as well as the denominator. Same way here I multiply the numerator as well as the denominator. Then this will give me 60 upon 20 and this will give me 100 upon 20. Now if you see, denominators are same, numerator are 60 and 100. So between 60 and 100 you can write so many rational numbers lying between 60 upon 20 and 100 upon 20. For example, 61 upon 20, 62 upon 20, 63 upon 20, 64 upon 20, and so on. The last one will be 99 upon 20. So why I chose this number, the larger one, so that it should become more clear to you, right? And I suggested you may choose any number, but whatever rational numbers you have to find out one more than that. If you have to choose, you have to find 10 rational numbers, you may choose number 11, right? But not 9. You may choose number 11, number 12, number 13, any number of your choice, maybe 100, maybe 1000, anyone, right? And you will be finding these two rational numbers in which you can find whatever rational numbers you have to write down, you wish to write, you can write easily. Clear? So this is the way to write rational numbers between two rational numbers. Now I would teach you how to write irrational number between two rational numbers, right? Now again, if I pick the example for, first of all, I'm going to take 2 by 7 and another number which I can take as, let's take 4 upon 7. It may be a different denominator also. First we'll consider this. First of all, 2 upon 7. Since it's a rational number, so it can have two type of decimal expansion. One can be terminating, the other one can be non-terminating but repeating. And I know it will give you 7 2s are 14, then 7 8s are 56, 7 5s are 35, 7 7s are 49, and so on. Why I am writing only 4? You may continue more, right? So that it should be, you should get an idea what type of numbers you're going to write down now. Now 4 upon 7, obviously, then 40, 7 5s are 35, 50, 7 7s are 49, 10, then 7 1, 30, 7 4, this one, right? Now easily you can go for the same two rational numbers you have found. The decimal expansions are 0.2857 and so on, 0.5714 and so on. Now your question is how to write irrational number and how to write rational number. Remember, you choose two decimal, the two digits after the decimal, because before decimal it's 0 given, yeah? It's 2828, it's 5757. That means between 28 and 57, whatever rational number you wish to write, you can easily write down. Clear? Or if you have to write irrational number, again you will go for 28 and 57. If you have to write down, suppose 3 irrational numbers I have to write down. So I'm going to start with, first of all, 0.29. I'm simply writing the beginning and then I'll tell you how to continue. 0.29, okay, 1 I can choose from 4, that means 0.41, because 28 and 57, between these two you have to choose. 29, then 41, and 1 I'll take from the after 50, that will be 53. Clear? Now you may check 28 and 57. Between these two, 29, 41, 53, all these three are lying there. Now I suggest always the easiest way to write irrational number, whatever two digits you have taken, then you write down 0 and repeat these two digits. Then you write down 00 and repeat these two digits. And then you write down 000 and repeat the digits and put dash dash dash. So this will be the number 0.290, 2900, 29000, 29 and so on. Similarly, I'm going to write for this one. It will become, it's not necessary to write 0. You may choose any other digit. Suppose I choose here now 3. 4 1, then 3 I have taken. Now 3 I will be keep on changing. 4 1 3 4 1 3 and so on. Right? Similarly 53. Now this time I'm choosing 4 here. 4 I will keep on changing the number. 5 3 4 5 3 4. I'm just changing the frequency of the number. Here I have changed the frequency of 0. Here I have changed the frequency of 3. Here I have changed the frequency of 4. So these are three irrational numbers I have written between these two rational numbers, 2 by 7 and 4 by 7. And if you have to write down rational numbers, which I discussed with you, this way, same method, you can choose whatever rational number they have to write down. Accordingly, you are going to choose the multiply the numerator and denominator, and then write down the rational numbers between them. Clear? So I hope now the concept of rational and irrational number is clear to you. How to write rational numbers between two rational numbers, and how to write irrational numbers between given two rational numbers. But one thing you should keep in your mind, non-terminating decimal, if it is repeating, that is definitely a rational number. Non-terminating decimal, if it is non-repeating, it's a irrational number. Students, now I suggest you to do few questions, which I will obviously send you assignment also, in which you can just think about the questions where irrational numbers are used and where rational numbers are used. You should go for the same just to frame the question so that the concept should be more clear to you. Right? Now, next what I'm going to revise for you, that is how to represent irrational number on the number line. As I discussed with you, irrational number are the numbers which are prime numbers, right? √2, √3, √5 and so on, which are there on the number, which are there, we can say prime numbers under the root. These are irrational numbers, right? Then how to represent these irrational numbers, that I'm going to teach you. You need to draw a number line. Clear? Then I'm just using pen here so that it should become more clear to you. And then you are going to take the distance. So this I'm taking as origin 0. Then I'm taking not exactly 1 centimeter but more than that. Why so? So that it should be clear to you. This is your number line. This is I have taken as origin. If I have to represent under √2, suppose I am starting with under √2 here. I know this is 1, this is 2 and this is 3. Students, then since under √2 you need, so what you will do, you will construct angle of 90 degree here, right? And you know very well how to do the construction of 90 degree here. Once you do the construction of 90 degree here, whatever distance is from here to here, you will fix your compass here, open the compass till here, then fix your compass here and mark an arc. What I said, open your compass from 0 to 1, fix your compass at 1 now, then mark an arc, right? Then name that point as A. You will be joining O and A. Since this you have taken as 1 unit, this you have marked as 1 unit, then by Pythagoras theorem, base square plus perpendicular square, that will be 1 square plus 1 square, which will become 2. Since it was hypotenuse square, so it will give you under √2. Fine. So similarly, if you have to go for under √3, what you will do, under root 2 you have obtained, you will just tilt the page and you will be considering this as the number line. Now you will be constructing a little bit extension of the line here. You will be constructing angle of 90 degrees. Sorry, I don't have the compass, so I have to just use just like a roughly only, as I normally we do on the board. Now here again what you will do, from here to here you will open the compass. That means you are measuring 1 unit, fixing your compass here, then marking an arc. Actually what we did, we measured the distance 1 unit and we fixed here and marked the arc. So this one is 1 unit. Name that point as B and then join it. This will give you, now you see root 2 ka square is 2, 1 ka square is 1, 2 plus 1 is 3. Due to hypotenuse square it will become under root 3. Fine. So we started with root 2, then we went for root 3. Now same I'm going to tell you on the same number line, root 4. Now this one will be considered as a line on which 90 degree angle has to be considered. Students normally do the mistake, they start constructing angle of 90 on this. This is wrong. You have to construct here. Fixing your compass here, again you will be doing a little extension. Sorry, B point was here, and then 90 degree angle, and obviously it will go like this. Fine. Now this was root 3. Again from here to here, that 1 unit we have to measure always from the beginning base 1 unit from here, and fix your compass here, mark an arc, that is name that point as C, and this is 1 unit. Now you will be joining OC. I think now it's clear to you. This will become root 4. Why this has become root 4? Because this is 3. Root 3 ka square is 3. 1 ka square is 1. 3 plus 1, 4. It will become root 4. So similarly, if you keep on doing the construction, next you will get root 5, root 6, and you know it will start coming like this, and it will become just like a spiral. All of you know very well about the spiral. You started from here. It was root 2, then you went here root 3, then root 4, next will be root 5, root 6, and then it will start becoming like this. How? I'll tell you. Then just now you will be getting it as it was your root 2, then next one was your root 3, and then you will just getting like the spiral this way. It will start moving. Right? Basically this is the activity suggested for your lab manual by CBSE, that you have to prepare spiral for the irrational numbers which we are doing, but these are basically not all irrational, as we have done for root 4 also. But what you need to do, you have to make the spiral for all the numbers starting from root 2, root 3, root 4, root 2, root 3, root 4, root 5, root 6, root 7, root 9, and then root 11. That means till root 11 you need to make the spiral, right? That is your activity for lab manual suggested by CBSE. Fine. So this you have to prepare, and I have told you how it has to be done. Again I repeat, first of all you will draw a number line. After drawing a number line, I took the scale, and this is not 1 centimeter. You may take it as 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter, but that has to be considered as 1 unit, whatever you take, right? That whatever you will take is a 1 unit. Then at one point which you have taken, you will be constructing angle of 90 degree. After the construction of 90 degree, you will be measuring from 0 to 1. That one you will be just marking one arc from this point. That point will be A, then joining O and A. After that, at point A, you will construct angle of 90 degree again. Then since it was root 2, this is it has to be 1 unit. Again you have to measure and intersect here one arc, which is namely as B. Then you will be joining OB. This was root 2, this was 1. So root 2 ka square is 2, 1 ka square is 1, 2 plus 1, 3. Again it will become root 3. Similarly, you will continue for all, and you have to make the spiral in your fair register till root 11. I hope it's clear to all of you how to make the spiral. Now comes one more thing. Sometime in your paper it is asked how to represent any irrational number on the number line. So any irrational number, as I said, which is given under the root, which you cannot solve, and maximum time we do this question under root 9.3, how to represent on the number line. See, if you are not supposed to prepare the spiral, even for root 2 you can go with this method, which I am going to tell you right now. First I'll go for root 2. So what you are going to do, you have to draw, since it is root 2, you have to draw a line segment of 2 centimeter. This time we have to draw a line segment. Side by side I am telling for 9.3 also. If it is root 9.3, then you will draw a line segment of 9.3. Clear? It was root 2, so we have drawn 2 centimeter. And name that as A and B. Just put a little dark dot over there. Then you have to extend 1 centimeter. This is the general I am teaching you for all. It may be root 9.3, it may be root 2, it may be root 10, it may be root 11. But this you will not use in case you have to prepare spiral. This you have to use in case you have to represent any irrational number on the number line. So this I am going to make as C. Then after that, at point B, you are supposed to construct angle of 90 degree, right? And before that, you will be drawing the perpendicular bisector of AC. You know what's a perpendicular bisector of AC? You will be fixing your compass at A, open it more than half. You know this is 2, this is 1. So total is 3. More than half should be more than 1.5. No need to measure with the help of scale. When you fix your compass here and open more than half, then just by your you can say estimation from here till here, till here, or till here, anywhere it's more than half, then you will be marking one arc up, one arc down. From point C, one arc up, one arc down. This is the perpendicular bisector. Since compass is not there, so everything has to be done, very roughly. So this will be there. Then fix your compass here. Let's name this point as D. Fix your compass here. Open equal to AD or DC. Both will be same, because since it is a perpendicular bisector, and you will be drawing a semicircle. You may start anyway. You may construct angle 90 degree first. You may draw perpendicular bisector first. It's okay, right? So we have drawn semicircle. At point B, you have constructed angle of 90 degree also. Fine. So now this we have written as B, and this you have written as D. Now you will be fixing your compass here, right? And then open till here. So what I said, fix your compass here, open till here,